One song on the album shows George's concerns about the changing face of youth culture.
The backing track was written by David Austin, my good friend David Austin, my childhood friend that my fans, I guess, all know about. He wrote You've Been Loved With Me. I asked him to come up with something similarly moving backing track-wise for this one, and that's what he did. It was going to be the first single. I wanted it to be the first single because I kind of wanted to do what I'd done with Jesus to a Child and Fast Love, to have a big winter hit, beginning of the year, and then have the second single, the up single, in the spring, which is actually what I wanted to do. But the record company, surprise, surprise, and all the affiliates around the world were jumping up and down so quickly for Amazing because they knew it was a very easy way to get me back on to the radio. It's my lament, really, for the culture that I grew up with, and I'm so sad to see at least temporarily destroyed. I don't know if it's temporary or permanent, but youth culture in this country is definitely a subculture now. The mainstream of youth culture is so completely unconcerned with real music. And this song is really about not just the loss of youth culture, but the fact that I grew up as part of the Cold War generation, and the idea that within 20 years, children would become, and I'm talking about teenagers really, would become such apolitical and completely musically starved and therefore musically ignorant. Those two things I find incredibly depressing because those things have been the center of my life. It's a bit cowardly, really. I could just have said it all like a grumpy old man, but I've written it into a storyline which is basically about having had a friend who went into a coma in 1975 when I would have been in my mid-teens. No, actually, I would have been 12 or 13. It happens occasionally that somebody goes into a coma and after, say, 20, 25, 30 years, they wake up and they're still compos mentis, you know, which is a miracle in itself. But the idea is this guy calls me about a week after he's woken up from this coma and just calls me and says, Jesus, what went on? Do you know what I mean? The world is full of religion and yet no one is acting like a Christian. That's really what, if Jesus Christ is alive and well, then how come John and Elvis are dead? What it's saying is, if religion is alive and well, how can idealism be dead? And how can youth culture, which was based on idealism and the idea of changing things for the better and blah, 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 how can that all be dead if everyone's supposedly on their knees praying?